And the passion goes in two ways. It goes in the way that they are spending their own time to give you feedback. So that's fantastic. But also when you do something that is challenging for them, they will go, how can you do this to me? Hello, my name is Stephan Saremba. I am the Managing Director for MA Lighting International, and I started at MA in April 2020, so I'm here for 6 years now. We from MA make a professional tool, and first of all, it's just a tool. It's not really more than that. And our customers, the people that use it, they really use the tool as they see fit. So there's always some skill that you need to acquire to understand what the tool can do. It's like a Leatherman or a Swiss Army knife. It can do many things depending on what you really want to achieve. You need some basic understanding always, no matter how easy you make the console. But then what people do with it, how they use it, how they apply it in their jobs, is really quite fantastic. So yes, there is an element of making it easy for people who start, and there's lots of activities and things that we do. We implemented a start show into our console, so you don't start from like a blinking cursor in MS-DOS, but you have something that gives you an orientation and you can quickly go. So for somebody who is starting out in the industry or is new to the platform, they can find themselves quickly around the console. But then you have people who are super creative, who dream up something that was never there before, and they want to actually start from a white piece of paper, and they want to draw their own visions and layouts and things that they want to do. And so we aim to cater at both. I'm hoping that the RM Academy, which is a fantastic way of teaching and all the different elements you have, will continue to be there for the users in Italy for many years to come. The transition from 2 to 3, so it was for me, when I started in 2020, we were just like 1.5 years or so into this transition. And so there was two levels, let's say, that I'm thinking. In MA2, we, in some shows, in some instances, we hit technically what is possible to do. And the engineers that developed it, they foresaw that there's going to be things in the future, and we see it today, like multi-instance fixtures where basically a moving head becomes an LED wall with pixels, require a very specialized and flexible way of handling the fixture. And this was simply not possible to do with MA2. If we want to be the leading console and leading lighting control system for the next 10 years, we cannot use the old engine. We have to build a new engine. So this was a technical requirement. And while we were trying to keep some of the things similar, so the transition was there, I would say it is to a degree a cultural shift. And this is a cultural element as well, because you are the best programmer in your field. You are the most respected programmer, operator in your field. And all of a sudden, the people who make your tool bring out a new tool, and you cannot just copy and paste your knowledge, right? So sometimes people who have never worked on MA found it easier to start with MA3 rather than the transition. So, and obviously we worked hard to take the input into consideration, but there was honestly for a long time, maybe until version 1.6, 1.7, it was tough for those. But also, we anticipated that this was going to be tough. So we made sure that software 2 could run very well on the existing hardware platform. But if you want to or have to kind of look into the future, control the fixtures that are there, have a lot more video on stage that you integrate, then MA3 gives you that. It's been rough in the beginning, and we've got a lot of feedback. And you have, we at MA, we are very lucky because we have very passionate customers. And the passion goes in two ways. It goes in the way that they are spending their own time to give you feedback They spend time with you. Your doors are open to see how they are working because they believe we take it to improve the product. So that's fantastic. But also when you do something that is challenging for them, they will go, how can you do this to me? We love you so much, and now you're giving me this. So it's this balance of passion that works in both directions. But yeah, we're very happy and lucky that we are in that way, and I think we're on a good way now. Anyway, here in Italy, RM has done an outstanding job of getting people on the platform early, and has a super team of trainers. So I think here in the Italian market, we are actually, we have very good progress, and I think most events use MA3 now, but it took a while. Version 3 is still the product that we are investing in terms of software development. The version 3 is still the version that we're going with, and in fact we are continuing to make investment. Obviously, as you know, the software is something that continues to evolve. Every 3-4 months we add functionality and we add and improve workflows, but also we have some things that we are thinking of down the road still within version 3. And when people make an investment into consoles, it's a significant investment. And even though I think with MA you have one of the fastest return of investments combined with the longest lifetime. So if you look at a moving head, maybe somebody brings out another moving head that is just a little bit better, so you're already challenged. With controls you have usually 7, 8, 10 years. So, but when you think about return of investment, we launched MA3 in 2018, we're in 2026. So people start to ask about the question. But then obviously we had some years in 2020, 2021 that kind of took us out. So we believe that the hardware platform is still capable to go for another 3, 4, 5 years for sure. So how is the stage changing? I think maybe I'm answering this in a little bit of a different way, because I think the way stages are appearing is driven by the fact that, thank God for that people want to have a life experience, right? I think after COVID, everybody was kind of a little bit curious, are people wanting to come back together? We all thought maybe this is a concept of the past, it will not happen. But the desire of people to get together and to have a life experience, that's something that they can touch, something that they can go and see their stars at a concert stage, or go to a festival and party with other people is strong. And is strong also and especially with the younger generation. And so everybody goes on tour, everybody creates live events. So if I'm an artist, now I need to think, okay, how do I get the people to come to my event? Because there's Coldplay, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Taylor Swift, Eros Ramazzotti, Vasco Rossi, everybody. So how do you make them come to your event? And I think this is where the design of the stage is coming in. Because what is the biggest marketing tool of any of these artists? It's the fans at the last concert taking videos for Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, right? So you need to create moments that are iconic, that people will repeat over and over. So somebody who is kind of thinking, should I go here or should I go there? They will come to your concert. And I think in Italy in particular, and this is kind of funny, so I'm here in Rimini on a Saturday night on a normal April, and we were walking along the beach there, and every restaurant had a small little setup outside with some lights, with a DJ. So people here are really drawn in more than maybe in other places by music and by party and by getting together and celebrating. So I think here this is even more important already in a small setup, and then obviously as the setup gets bigger, it is that. So I think this is really a driver. I think technologically you see that video is just everywhere and video content is everywhere. EDM is leading the way in that, is another important aspect on a technological change. But I think the fact that you need to be present as an artist with your fans and you need to give them the best show ever is really what's driving the industry forward. I originally started out in the lighting industry I don't know, I'm always getting the numbers wrong, but probably it's more than 30 years ago now. 25, 30 years ago, but more on the installation and on the architecture, lighting control side. When I finally moved into more of the entertainment side of the industry, which was when I was working for a company that was also selling moving heads, so I realized that there was something quite unique about this industry. And I think in every industry and wherever you are in selling, you always say relationships are the most important thing. But I think in this industry, because it is in the number of people that work in it, it's a compact set, and you meet the same people sort of everywhere and all around. So I think this is really an element where the work together is to use this in a positive way, to say people want to engage with you. They are looking forward to engage with you if you let them and if you allow them. I think one of the ways that on operating that we've adopted with MA is to make sure that there is always an opportunity that people feel welcome and feel that they can come in and share what they have, and that you should always listen. And we have a luxury in MA that I never had before in my professional career, which is we don't spend most of our time with the people that are buying a product, because we have wonderful distribution partners like RM in Italy that do that. They are really in close contact with the buyers. We have the luxury to be mainly in contact with the users, so the people that actually stand behind the desk and operate it. So this is important for us to understand where should we go next, what do we do well and what do we don't do well. And in MA, and this is not something that I've invented but that I've learned and adapted, is to really create a very clear structure around getting user feedback and then implementing that directly into the development process of the product, mainly of the software, let's say. So that it's not just something that you talk about, or that everybody would say get user feedback into the product, but we have our software development people talking directly to users on a regular basis, and that ecosystem is something that I never used in this intensive way before. And it's kind of part of the DNA of the company, and openness is an important element for our success. Definitely, I'm always making a joke and saying this is what gives me the sleepless nights is how do you stay where you are, right? If you're always the one that everybody else is chasing, and we have very good companies in our industry, in our market segment, that also do very good control products. But I'm not losing my smile because, one, I have a very good team. And with team, not just the people that work for MA and for me, but the team is also all our distribution partners. And I think this is we have in every country the best lighting entertainment company as a partner. And so they have the best relationships, they have the most knowledgeable people, they have younger people, they have experienced people. And so if this is the biggest team, the most professional team, is also the same team that is also thinking about, okay, where are we getting challenged by competitors and what are we doing? So this team spirit of being close to the user actually gives me a lot of confidence, because I think that in my past is when the users of your solutions feel like you're not listening to them and other things are becoming, more commonly used. Finally, when you realize it's happened, it's too late, because everybody's already switched. And what I was telling before, this ecosystem where we are very close to the users, I feel we are a little bit closer to the market to understand where things are. We are seen as we are doing the Super Bowl halftime show. We've did the Olympics opening here in Italy together with you, with RM. So we do these kinds of events which are iconic and people say, oh wow, this is great. But we also want to make sure that we don't come across as arrogant or as difficult to work with. So I don't lose my smile. I think you need to be an enthusiast in our industry. You need to enjoy what you're doing. You need to enjoy interacting with people. And then it's really the greatest job in the world. I have two kids. They're still kids, but they're now already grown up in their 20s. But they say, Dad, come on, put your phone away this weekend, let's just stay together. And I try to follow that rule as much as I can. So spending time with the family is great. And then maybe in the last 2 years more than before, I picked up something that I did when I was younger, which is running. And I just ran here yesterday, so it's easy. You just put your shoes into a basket, into your suitcase, and then you can go. And there I listen to, I don't know, podcasts or something. So it's kind of an hour or so of time where you just kind of switch off, and it's great because I'm traveling a lot. But in this way, you get to see the places that you go from a different perspective. So here I was on the beach along Rimini, but in Mexico I was in Chapultepec Park, and so you go to different places and you see it a little bit different. So I think it's still hard for me to switch off and to completely put it away, but I think this is sort of a disease that many in our industry have. I really, really love music. I neither play an instrument nor can I sing, but we all love music. So I have the pleasure that in my job, I get to be front of house and I get to witness a concert and I get to spend time with the operators, and I just enjoy that. I don't even see that as work. So it's not happening all the time, but we try to do it wherever we can. You can make a fantastic and fun career in this industry. It's not being a lawyer or going to university and studying business or an engineer, but it is only the most multi-talented people that are in our industry, because you have to be technically knowledgeable, you have to work under stress, you're traveling a lot, so the skill set is a very unique one. And don't be afraid to tell your parents that yes, you can make a great career in it. And I think what I see in a lot of young people is that, especially when they are working, maybe it's a bit easier on the control side in MA, because there is always demand for people who are clever, who are going in, whether you're in corporate events or you're in concert touring or in theater. It's a very wide field. And if you're young, talented and interested, obviously you have to put the work into it. And there, RM is really amongst all of our distribution partners that we have, 60, 70 around the world, is really leading the way in picking up young talent with their Lightwalker program. And meanwhile, they have brought it to a level that you could almost compare to the Eurovision Song Contest for young people getting into the entertainment industry. So they have master classes, and then here the climax is at the Mir Show where you are really training. So you get in a very close environment. You get to learn in a very quick way what it is to be on the big stage and to work with these customers. And I think this is a fantastic way, because maybe you get into the program, which is fantastic. Then you have really an outstanding reference. You meet some of the biggest designers and rental companies in Italy right away. And if not, you have something to aspire to, something to prepare for, maybe improve your skills so that in the next year when you can reapply. And this is something that we as a company want to bring out more and more. We have a very strong program that we do with universities. So, if you're excited about the industry, don't worry. There is enough good paying jobs, fun jobs in our industry. So hopefully your parents will give you the thumb up, and then find a program like the one that RM is offering with Lightwalker. Get really into it, be excited, network as much as you can. People love that, and you'll be good to go. My advice would be pick one and become really very good at it. So if your interest is more in technical and maybe your world is more programming and operating, then really become very good at it. Become the best there, and then you will work with the creatives, with the designers. You will be their programmer, operator of choice, and you do that. If you feel like you're more artistic and you're more in the design world, then networking is super important, so you can participate in a team of a designer and you can develop your creative aspects in there. Maybe you have your own, band that you work with, that you start out with. But pick one or the other, I think in this industry anyway, you need to have some basic technical understanding of everything. People here are much more technical than most other industries, even the designers. But pick one that is your passion. Is it design? Is it technical? And go full 100% into it.